Hello and welcome to IndieX 2021. We proceed our features list today with Townseek, the first game that is home-based, some sort of home-based because it has a Portuguese background, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
For us is important because we are also a Portuguese organization. So, hello. Thank you for coming. I'm your host, João. Today with me we have John, George, and Mosky. Can I go for Mosky?
Yeah, please do.
I think our cameras are frozen on stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So hey, we're static people.
This is not a very fluttering photo of me.
Okay.
It happens. Hey, you can just think of us as standees.
I mean, you did put me at some point with a cardboard.
Yeah, I remember that one event where we took a
this
photo
is
of
a
Mosky.
kind of wax museum for video video game
developers.
We made it.
So I think we are done now. Okay, sounds good.
On the stream, it still looks. Oh, there you go.
No,
hey,
we're going.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so today we are here to talk about Townseek. That's your game from Wales and Games.
Yes.
So take us through this lovely game.
Are you already live streaming it, or should I just present it first?
Well, by all means, do present it first.
Okay. So Townseek is an IndieX. I'm too used to talking about the event. I just had to post about the event online in various places. So Townseek is a relaxing exploration game, a relaxing exploration trading game, I should mention, and we originally created it during this year's Global Game Jam. So it's a game where you mostly travel across the world, you discover landmarks, you trade with towns, and it's mostly just a chill exploration sandbox. We wanted to create a game that captured, the joys of traveling, the joys of discovering new locations. Just create a world that's fun and is full of personality to just be in. Just a game that you can be on and enjoy the environment, discover towns, see what kind of hosts you come across, and just have a well of a time with it.
All right. What were the inspirations for the Townseek regarding games inspiration?
Oh, games inspiration. I think Mosky can say that better.
Yeah, the thing is that our biggest inspiration at the moment was the game A Short Hike, the one where you control a bird that is running freely on an open world island. Because we thought that the idea of starting without a specific goal would entice players to just explore around to their heart's content. And we continued developing it. And at some point we started, after the release, we got some other inspirations for mechanics from games like Merchant of the Skies, which then we realized that if we had seen it before, it would have been it's like a very similar concept where you control a balloon that goes around trading. But at that point we thought this is way too similar to the other one. So we're kind of glad that we found out about it later, but it's still a great game.
What was the game that was quite similar? I didn't get.
Merchant of
the Skies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's available on Steam and Switch. I highly recommend it. It's very good.
Yeah, and we also have some more inspirations there from Forager. We've been taking a look at Cartu. Mostly exploration / trading games, smaller in scope, but still a good time. And yeah, we're just fetching from multiple places to see if and see if we build a very unique experience of our own.
Well, I will say something. Many years ago, I think about 16, 17 years ago, there was a browser game with a very similar mechanic, not with the flare and not with the colors, not with the brightness that Townseek has, but it had some similar mechanics, and it was really pleasant at that time. I mean, it was many years ago, especially in games. 17 years ago, it was already a lot. But there was this kind of game that I was playing on a browser. It was quite satisfying. For me, this is a much better, much with more polished version, and well.
Yeah, we've been hearing about people comparing our games to Flash games, which is, it has always been an interesting inspirational trait from our games. I think both me, Mosky, and even John were very inspired by, we're Zoomers. Is the point I'm trying to make. So okay. We were very inspired by Flash games for a lot of our studio's identity, because we kind of grew with that early 2000s web, where people were more experimental with Flash games. Mosky, you can talk more about that because you're the art guy.
I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I'm under the impression that all of us grew playing Flash games in the school computers. So yeah, at that point, like, back in the day, we had Newgrounds, and at some point, like, when I started liking the aesthetics and enjoying playing indie games, I got big inspirations from the Behemoth and Edmund Macmillan, creator of Binding of Isaac, which are art styles that inspired the current one that I currently have, that I've implemented in most of our games, including Townseek, which is sometimes being complimented by saying that our games look like traditional-looking Flash games from their sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In fact, I was more talking about the mechanic of the game than the look, but of course, one will relate with the other. No?
No, see, the thing is that I don't remember playing that game that you're mentioning. However, I also happened to grow up playing, like, when I was 13, 14 years old, playing a Pirates game. I don't really know if it's like a widespread now, but I have not been able to find it again. In Spanish, it was called Piratas, Tu Gran Desafío. And it was a game where you were on a ship, moving from one town to another, just buying and trading, and sometimes fighting other pirates. It was very basic for the time. It was like Windows 1998, but I think that up to a point it has been like an inspiration as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's fun. Okay, so I'll just show you the game. We're now further delayed. So I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you guys by what you do in the game. Mosky, what do you do in the game?
I'm the artist, so sometimes I start doing the starting design of some of the mechanics, but I'm primarily the lead artist.
Okay, John?
I make the music and the sound.
Oh, you made a comment on the chat.
Oh.
I did not. I did not.
Okay. George, you?
Yeah, I am the lead programmer, and yet I mostly do that. I also help Mosky with the design, and all of the other hats as community manager, social media manager, video editor, image editor. I think all of the typical extra hats that our indie team has.
I heard you love spamming. Okay, so let's go into the game. You guys will see it with a bit of delay because it will be on Twitch.
Just tell me once you've spawned the ship, because I do have a small surprise. We do have a small surprise. So have you already spawned your ship?
It's spawning. Yes.
Okay, press X, the key on the keyboard.
Yes.
And you should have an IndieX flag on your ship.
Oh, I do! Oh, it's so great, guys! That's very nice.
Okay, and you can continue exploring around now.
Okay, go wild.
Yeah, so one thing I should have mentioned is that if you've seen the promotional art for the game from the index page and from original Steam page, you know, we originally made the game for Global Game Jam, and the game was very sepia tones in terms of map. If you want to open this, there you managed it. And the game was very sepia toned in terms of colors. We went for a very like typical fantasy / medieval styled map. And so this one is actually our first look at it in the expanded version that we're working on Steam. But one thing I'll mention is that so this build is still very based on the mechanics of the original version. It has a completely new map, which is limited, but it's about the same size as the old map. But yeah, so we're still working on the new mechanics, but we're working on a lot of the underlying mechanics. It was a gem game at first, so there's a lot of code that we need to separate. Make sure that it's more usable for the future, so it's easier to implement new mechanics. So a lot of work so far has been going on the underbase, and I sometimes joke with John and Muskie that it's 2 hours or 3 hours of work at a time to end on the same visual results as we started, but underlying there's already changes. So I mentioned that because, for example, the flags. So on this new version, we're working to have more cosmetics, different blimps, different hulls, different flags. But UI for that is still not there. But the technical side is already done for that. So a lot of early work is still just getting the bases done. But we wanted to have this first look ready for these events.
This will make me ask you. Well, when do you predict that you will have the full game?
So we were originally thinking about Q2, so sometime between April and July, but we're starting to see how the game is performing. We've been in talks with publishers to see if we have any luck. We've been evaluating development as it goes, so now it's more Q3, so hopefully around September. But again, it's all speculative because games just take time to make.
Yeah, but you do have already a publisher?
No. It's still right now. We're still aiming for self-publishing, and we're just trying to see. We're just testing our luck on the waters and seeing what we get.
Okay. So I will start moving around. We just went to the city, and it's a gorgeous map. I know this. We can fish around.
You'll need to get your fishing rod first, but you should be able to get the.
Yeah. Okay. I had that before. I need also materials to mine, and we are. This is new.
Yeah, so the entire map you're looking at might have some familiar towns and locations, but all of the art assets and all of the work are mostly new. So, yeah.
For this iteration, we reused the characters, but we actually had to make the sprites of the towns, and because we added color, we decided to go and add more visual diversity to the game. So there are biomes, there are new scenes to look, there are new landmarks. The mechanics of the trading are still the same, but we're already doing or writing about how we're going to restructure it to make it more seamless, more interesting, as well as we can add to it.
Okay, I was seeing the art before, and I do see more color. What you felt the need to have more color to the palette for some particular reason?
The only say is that your game was inspired by the look of maps, but at some point we started seeing other games. What was the name of the other one, George? Games like Carto and whatnot, which while they were also based on maps, they had a bit more sprinkle of color and thought maybe this could do with a bit more blue, a bit less brown. And at some point, we started thinking about how the biomes would look more diverse with more color, and it just continued evolving from there.
So more concern was that, for a gem-sized game, that sepia map is enough because you won't be playing it for more than 1 hour. There's a novelty aspect to it at first, but after a while you'll probably be tired of all that brown you see at one time. So for this new version, because we want the player to be around for a few more hours, we wanted to introduce a bit more visual diversity, so it doesn't tire you as much to see the same environments. We also wanted to give more personality to individual zones. So, for example, you'll notice that swamp that you're on, has different sorts of creatures around. It has some more marsh sounds. So we just wanted to allow the map to have more unique zones. Just a more appealing. Just more diversity overall.
Okay, yeah. I asked because what I felt it was already very good. It was feeling very nice. The art in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, now it grows to another dimension. True, but it was already very satisfying. That's why I asked why to interact again over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mostly just so we can have more unique zones for the full version. Because this map you're currently on, you have noticed the clouds around. So that's just the limited map we have for the demo. But the actual map for the game, we're aiming it for it to be like almost 4 times bigger, and 4 times bigger is a lot bigger. And so we wanted to be able to have more of that more unique places you can look. So here on this map you mostly have like that golden forest if you were on a bit ago. You have that marsh you just were at, and we also are going to have like sacred forests. We're going to have lands of undead. You're going to have deserts. We just thought adding color allows us to make those zones each individually more more unique, more charismatic, and just call to attention.
Yeah, also because it's a far bigger map, the different colors and the different landscapes actually are going to help a lot the player to remember what everything is. It's just going to be so big. And with only brown, it will have been very difficult to remember. Everything looks the same.
Yeah, okay, I can relate to that. Sometimes it was... I had to look around to know where I was. So, and you want to run us through this main mechanic? Well, so it's a trade game. We are trading in one town, trying to get the supplies for the best price, and we'll take it to the other town to make some profit.
Yeah, so right now that's the main trading mechanic so far. Where it's mostly what I was explaining. It's mostly the trading that exists from the gem version. So you mostly just try to trade for bigger, for some profits. So you can buy stuff like the fishing rods. So you can buy balloons blimps to decorate your ship. But going forward, we want to expand trading quite a lot with possible. So it's still not on this build because again this build was mostly based on the gem version. But for example, we want towns to have a relationship rank with you, and depending on how much you trade with them, your rank increases. You get better deals. You get quests,
like a reputation status.
Essentially, very similar to that, yes. And we want to implement that.
Awesome.
So while for the gem version we mostly focus on side activities like fishing, like mining, and just the overall discovery. For the new version, we want to live up to the namesake of the game and just make the game more about the towns themselves and how you trade with them.
Okay.
Queen Bee.
I love the Queen Bee. No dental insurance for the drones. Great.
So yeah, the new art style also allowed us to animate some landmarks, which gives them more personality. And if you look around closely, you'll see a lot more small creatures around. There's a lot more small animals, just for detail and fun.
Yeah, it's very populated, the map.
Do you want to talk a bit about the sound, John?
Oh yeah, I was going to go there.
Sure. Yeah, dividing the map into biomes also gave gave me the opportunity to inject some more music variety. We wanted more variety in general, so music needed that. It's a bit rough trying to play many hours in a row, listening to the same thing on a loop, even though there is some random choices in the music that it isn't a perfect loop. You get some variety naturally.
So
But now,
we should listen different music in considering the biome we're in.
yeah,
So right in that continent you are, or we've seen from the stream, you don't notice so much. But if you start moving to the right, there's another continent on the other side of the ocean that has a different track, for example. And if you pay attention, you're going to see the instruments change from a continent to continent. So there's only 2 continents plus the ocean so far, but as we go, you're probably going to notice it more.
Okay, yeah, I can see. I can hear, not see. It's a different tune altogether.
yeah. So you can essentially create layers. You have town layers, and then you have the biomes, and a bunch of biomes becomes a continent, and the music takes care of that layer.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just exploring. We're just exploring, trying to give more to the worlds, both visually, mechanically, and even with the audio, and just trying to make the world a more memorable place. So it might already have been memorable through the previous version, but we really want to nail in on making this world very cozy and very home feeling in a sense.
I must say it's very easy that if you have not played many hours before, it's very easy to just go around, completely forgetting that you are going to trade, just going around looking. It's very pleasant, and which is very nice.
Yeah, that's mostly like what we want the game to feel, and it's going to be very curious as we start getting to new mechanics. Getting to improve trading, getting to improve trading, getting to more the extra continents in. As we start increasing the world map, it's just going to be fun to see what spaces people feel more related to. It's going to be fun to see what landmarks they react to. I think we're going to have a lot of fun in developments, just continuing to increase the world map, and just then seeing to people's reaction during playtesting to these different zones and how the world is coming together. So it's been a very fun game to develop, and like I was mentioning at the beginning, a lot of the inspiration for this game came from our inability to travel during these last hell-ridden 2 years during the pandemic, and so we wanted to make a game that captured the beats, the joys of traveling bit by bit again.
Nice. What do you envision that will be the end game, quote unquote? What will be the end game in Townseek?
Do you want to talk about that, Muffy, or?
Well, just fill the gaps on the things that I may be forgetting. But on the full release of Townseek, we intend to have some extra quests. And there's going to be like a main quest, if you want to call it like that, where you try to fill the journal of an old explorer known as Sir Reginald Sharkingstone, who explored the world a century or two before the player. And the idea is that as the player continues playing the game and unlocking the expanded map, they go and meet the other towns that this old shark knew before, and up to a point they're going to discover more about his life and what was his end goal. And that's like the narrative approach to give the game some semblance of progression. However, the idea that we envision is that by that point the player has such a big map that they can just continue trying to see what else they can find on the world. There's so many items to collect. There's going to be many towns to try to rank up. There's going to be some mechanics aside from fishing and mining, which hopefully are going to be add a bit more of interactivity or a bit more of a strategy for the player. So ultimately, it's just going to be game where you can roam around, decorate yourself, see whatever you want to see, and just have a good time on it.
So yeah, like we call it breadcrumbs because it's essentially a breadcrumb trail. So that will be essentially the main quests for the game. So you'll have like a set of towns that you'll have to go through in order to get the pages of that explorer named Sir Reginald Sharkington. Yes,
Sharkington.
Sharkington, and that quest will allow is basically just essentially a way for us to gauge some progression because since the world is bigger, we want the players to, for example, have found out about how to turbo their ship, how to move faster. But the idea is to have essentially a main motivator for the player to keep going, and essentially, they can always deviate from that path and just try to explore the world for themselves. But yeah, we wanted to add that main quest, and as you go, you'll get new activities and new things to do on that world as you go.
So now I'm showing the fishing. I finally got my rod, and this is a way we can get extra resources. No. So these fishes, I can trade them afterwards, right?
Yes.
In the towns. And they also do. I do have around this inventory with my collection, which I can finish.
So well, that's one of the screens we want to change the most for the full version. So we mostly want it to be based around that journal we were talking about. So essentially, in a very twisted sense, the game is also a collectathon because we also want the player to try to complete their item collection from different categories, from towns, from fishing, from mining, from other activities like farming we have plans. And we want to give motivation for the player to collect these different stuff. It's very likely. So right now, the fishing and mining is mostly just a side activity. You get to get extra money from the stuff you get.
I must say, I have a pickle with you guys. I collected all the items, and there was no extra reward in the end. I was very unhappy.
On the original gem version, there was a reward if you found all landmarks and town items. Fishing and mining, again, because it's a gem version, we didn't want to punish the player having to collect all the fish and mines, which are a bit more RNG based. But yeah, like there was a small reward in the form of a blimp for this version. We're still discussing how it's going to be to have the collection and what you get as you go through the game. But I hope we can reward the player better as they go.
Really,
Some of the plans here is that because we're going to add so much customization of the ship, like at this point you can only change the blimp itself. However, you see that you have your very own flag there. We want you to be able to change the flag, to change the hull, and to change the anchor. So the idea here will be that almost any activity at some point will, at the very least, give you some cosmetic reward.
And so there's also other things that we've got plans, which we still haven't begun development on them, but we think will make the journey more unique as you go.
so you guys working full time on this game?
Full time plus extra.
Plus extra. Well, that goes without saying almost every time, huh?
Yeah, that's not bad overtime here.
But yeah, no, we're still self-funding this, hence why we were checking the possibility of publishers. We're researching our odds. The game is always going to be made. We designed the game to be self-published if it comes to it, without necessarily having any content cut. But having a publisher will help us a lot. Spread the word about the game, allow us to reach more platforms.
Well, as Fadel was saying in the comments, it's of course, we can really picture this game going around with us in a Switch, for sure. Or sometime soon, if it happens, I still don't believe it. We can play it on Steam Deck everywhere. But yes,
Yeah, we want to get the game. We definitely would love to have the game on Switch. Nothing to announce yet, but cannot lie that we might be researching that possibility and just checking what our chances are. And yeah, the Steam Deck. I am sad that the Steam Deck got delayed 2 months because I'm really looking forward to it.
aren't we all?
Yeah.
So do tell me that you guys are active in our business to business sessions.
Yeah, like last week. These have been 2 very busy weeks. Last week we had Nordic Game, and we had several meetings then. And this week we were, working on these builds, so we can also send to some people we met during that event. Getting the build ready to be shown today, and it's been a very busy month, but the game is coming. The game is coming together very fast, and we're very hyped for just working on it. But yeah, we are looking at IndieX at your IndieX business platform. I'm going to see how it's going to be because the days that you have on the business platform are actually days that we're going to be away for the week. But we'll just tell people, hey, we're not available this week, and we schedule this for later. But yeah, so after these 2 very big weeks, we're likely going to have the next week not runs here in Lisbon.
All right. So now I'm showing the mining mechanic. I got my pickaxe.
So one thing that early work that I've been doing on the programming side was that again, one of the important things that a person needs to pay attention to when going from a jam game to a full release is during a game jam you make a lot of stuff just work for the sake of working because you want to ship the game, not so much like be worried about the future. Sure, how I program normally takes that into consideration, but there's still a lot of it that's done, as we say in Portuguese, on the knee, just to get it working. So a lot of that early work was just separating things. So for example, before, fishing spots and mines will have to be tied to a discovery. So one of the things I did early on was just separate those. So for example, now you can have some rocks you can mine or some fish you can catch that are not necessarily associated with mines and fish and fishing spots. And hopefully, as the world starts getting bigger, we can spread some of those around. So even if you're not like in a big mine, like for example that ice grotto you were at, you can still find some rocks you can mine, and
they are respawning.
Yeah, they respawn. Like any resource from fishing to the mines will respawn over time. And we're also discussing how we can have other types of resources that work slightly different from just waiting around, but it's still very, very early discussions.
Okay, we have these balloons also respawning very often. You found a spot. Yeah. I got distracted.
The balloons were made as a very safety net mechanic because we were afraid that on the original version, because it was not very apparent if the player was doing good deals or not, we were concerned that some players would lose all of their money and be unable to buy new stuff. So the balloons spawn around randomly, and they get items that you can sell for free. So we went with the idea that the game was meant to be chill rather than to punish the game or the player or put game over mechanics, and instead always have the opportunity for the player to get back on their feet.
So our concern was that if the players spent all the money on blimps, they could have accidentally gone with 0 golds and no items. So we added the balloons as essentially, a comeback mechanic. So you can always have items to sell and recover some of that money. It's very easy to make money on the game. And,
You can also
and plus
lose
it's
it if you're not careful.
You are not worried without with some players considering okay, they will not be looking for this the lack of challenge. If you can
not
find money
necessarily.
very easy, yeah.
Yeah, we do want to have some parts of the main quests and requests have some sort of challenge, but overall we're mostly going for that chill approach. So just a game you can well, I cannot say pop on your Switch because nothing is announced yet. But just a game you can open on your Steam Deck, and just sit on a sofa or sit on a bed and just casually get through and just enjoy. So hopefully, as we add town ranks and as we add the quests, it will be a chill time. And there might be some more challenges, but all of the players' flow with the game, we're going to figure out as we start playtesting more and as we start, seeing how people react to it. It's very different to make a game that's supposed to last 1 hour at most during a game jam, to making a game we want to last 4 or 5 hours, if not more.
Oh,
So,
you are. I was going to ask you that. What was the game length that you were going for?
so yeah, 4 to 5 hours. Probably more if you are aiming for full completion, but yeah, so we want those 4 to 5 hours to be a fun time without necessarily having a lot of pacing. So it's going to be very important to us to over the next months to playtest the game, checking if the quest is engaging enough, just experimenting around. That's the neat thing about this game, is that it was designed in a way that's very very fun to iterate on and experiment with new things.
Okay, it's already a beefy length. The 4 hours.
Yeah, but the thing is that while this is still in discussions, one of the ideas was that to add a little bit of extra replayability of challenge, that many of the activities are you can get a track of many of the activities, so at some point that you can check how long it took you to finish the main quest, how long it took you to finish collecting a particular resource or finding all of the landmarks. So if people want to speed run this at some point, maybe they can do it through several different categories. While it's still not on the plans, I think it will not be extremely difficult.
Okay, nice. On the
The thing is
waves.
that there's so much RNG here that a proper 100% the speedrun will take some time, but we also intend to have it be not as difficult to get the stuff that you're looking for, because like with the balloons and whatnot, they help you find some items that otherwise you may have not bought because they were you were buying them at a loss. So maybe there are opportunities to get some items in more than one way, so that it's not always fully dependent on RNG.
Okay, and our blimps that we can buy, each town will have a personalized blimp that you can buy. But
At least sorry.
Go.
At least on the original version, yes, all of the towns have blimps, and this build also has each town has their own blimp. For the full version, we're going to experiment as we go with how fun it is to unlock cosmetics. So you already see the flags, so we want to have flags being sold on towns. We want to have the holes. We want to have certain cosmetics tied to achievements and completing tasks in the game. And there are also other features we're working on that we hope can serve as a reward mechanism for just continuing to do activities in the worlds.
okay,
It would
but
actually be pretty fun if you were able to get one of the blimps during the stream.
yeah, I need more money. I got distracted going around.
Also, be careful. I don't know if it's visible or if the people watching have noticed, but there are two different kind of currencies.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have so many more in the well, there are three, only two available on this build, but because we're going to add so many more towns, there's going to be a bit more of difference in currencies. So the player has to take a bit more of a strategic decisions on when to buy or where to buy and where to sell. So if you really want to buy a ship, you have to buy stuff on some other towns and sell them on the place where you want to buy it. Else it's very likely that you're not going to have money if you have not been saving it.
So tier Y, which is covered by John's camera, shows 3 currencies. So that's what we're aiming.
Okay.
That's what we're aiming for the full version, is to have 3 separate currencies, mostly to just motivate the player to try with different towns. So we have gold, gammies, and pokies. Pokies are not on this build; they show, but they're not assigned to any town. But as we expand the world and add all of those new towns, we hope to have those towns trading in different currencies. So the player has to do some micromanagement, because in our real world we also have tons of different currencies that we have to take care of. Us in Europe don't have much of that problem, but if I went over to Mexico to Moscow, I'd have to learn to use a peso and whatever that
Okay.
means.
I'll
So
get a portable heli.
Look, I have to pay in pesos when I have to deal with George. There's the euro. Sometimes when I have to buy something from Kickstarter or something, I have to pay in pounds. And if I go to the United States, I have to pay in dollars. It's a mess.
yeah,
So that's my
we
work
wanted
PayPal.
we wanted to have the currencies to cover some of that feeling, and to just be fun to try and collect different things. Plus, currencies also talk a bit about currencies are also in a way a bit of a background to
So,
towns.
but every town has one related currency, right? It doesn't change. It's always the same.
We have
Yeah.
some discussions that we might have towns that mix and match currencies, but nothing confirmed just yet.
Okay.
Right
So-
now, on the initial plan of the towns, sorry for that, but in the initial plan of the plans is that we want to have some semblance of cohesion, and if there are some towns that are thematically similar or very proximate to each other, they very likely have the same currency because they have to trade with each other anyways.
Okay, so we do have a new balloon. I got a new blimp, I must say. And
Balloons blimp.
I don't know how I got this one. I got it from a balloon, right?
Yes, after some crates, you might come across that one.
Okay. So, and this one that I will place now was the one I got from the cat city, cat town.
Meow, Holesville.
So
Meowsville?
That was good.
Meowsville.
Nowsville. You have another cat.
No, it's just that one. We're trying to keep, except humans. Humans are an asterisk to that. We want to have each town having, a specific species of animal, anthropomorphic being, thing. I like how thing is a category of species, as you might see in one of the feature towns. In one of
I must say, where's the whale town?
We do have whales, but like whale town, I don't think there's one in the plans. However, because we are a group of people that really like designing characters and whatnot, we didn't want to limit ourselves with the names of the characters. So we believe that some of the new ones that are coming are going to go beyond just being an animal that walks in 2 legs or just a human with some good characteristics. Because on the original version, we even had a city made of Moai stone people, which are just rocks that do not move, but we thought it would be funny. And we are extending that idea in the future with more races that go even beyond the physical planet.
Geometric shapes. Good luck composing the track for that one, John.
It's just going to be TVG release or something.
So guys, we are almost at the end of our time here. I really honestly enjoyed this game. I think it's a beautiful game with the music is very relaxing. The mechanics are simple, but they are flowing very well. It's a joy to play.
Glad to hear that. I mean, that's exactly what we were aiming for. Just a cozy game. I've been discussing that with other peers. We need these last years. It's been more common, but we really need more. We really need more cozy and more wholesome games in general. Just games you can have a good time. Not saying that action games are not welcome, but there's so much going on in our information age and so much we have to think about and care on our own lives, then sometimes just having a nice getaway, it's a nice time. So it's not just you're just not always playing games for that demand your reflexes and demand you to
Yeah, you don't need to compete and all the
Mhm.
time and to be rushing everything. I do agree with it.
Games that are just enjoyable time sinks, and we should normalize people being able to take some time to just enjoy playing something for the sake of enjoying it. And yeah, like this has been especially true because this year I think everyone in our team progressively got more and more tired of the live service model. So I think last year we mostly played live services. Like I was playing Fortnite, we were playing Fall Guys, we were playing. What were you playing, Mossy?
Fall Guys, Fortnite. We have been playing with other people Genshin Impact when that released, and currently was playing that Cookie Run Kingdom. There's always just lip service after lip service, but
You were completely chilled at home, huh? No rush at all.
Yeah,
let's
so
say
we wanted to make a
up to a
game that.
point,
Sorry, go.
like up to a point, this is like a project that I'm really looking forward to. That really caught my interest in further developing because I was meant to meet George at California last year for what was it, George? For
GDC,
for
so San Diego
GDC,
Press Conference.
and then we had the whole planet shut down, and we still have to find what we're going to do with our airplane tickets. So yeah, I was very mad that I couldn't travel to meet this dude, and now
Yes.
we're making a game about traveling, so it just feels fitting.
Yeah, basically I was just clicked, but yeah, so I was saying, you know, there's tons of live services nowadays, and we just wanted to make we've just been enjoying games that you can play in a few goes and just enjoy a bit sized uh, idea that the creator has, and just enjoy that. Um, be it like a game like these where you have like a set world, or a game that's has a storyline or a story to tell. You know, just be able to enjoy those experiences more.
Okay, thank you. I wish you all the best. I'm anxious to see the end result. For our viewers, you can find it on Steam and you can wish list it on Steam already. You can buy it already. No.
No, you cannot buy it already. But please wishlist it because we need help with the Steam algorithm.
We need to place the algorithm.
We need to please algorithm. Gaben, please help us.
So, thank you very much. Hope to meet you again, and I hope to see this Townseek hit the success it deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We'll be right back with Aiku and Ricardo. Stick around. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.